The first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. If Japan does not surrender, bombs will have to be dropped on her war industries, and unfortunately, thousands of civilian lives will be lost.
8, 7.
It took the bomb 43 seconds from the time we dropped it at 30,000 feet until the time it exploded at 18,000 feet. The first thing you saw was that large white cloud that was up well above our altitude. If you look down to the city of Hiroshima, it just looked like a pot of boiling oil covering the city.
6, 5.
To say it was frightening is an understatement. I think it shocked us all into silence. When the flash hit you, you could see the x-rays of your hands through your closed eyes.
4, 3.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
A bomb atomically.
Welcome to the Bomb Atomically podcast, the only podcast where Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define how we be dropping these mockeries. I'm Tones. I'm joined by J-Mac.
What's going on, people?
And Professor Joey the Green Thumb.
Oh, yeah. Crocodiles, elephants, and a lot more animals. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like Noah's Ark over here.
It was like Noah's Ark, but opposite.
Yeah. So we're back.
I don't know. That was terrible.
I wasn't sure if there was like a reference I was missing or something. Or
No, I was trying to find a line in my notes to open with, and I fucking couldn't get to it, and I fucked it all up.
I'll give you a line. You are excrement, but you can change yourself into gold.
Oh, yeah, that's a damn good line.
Yeah. So here to talk Holy Mountain. It's been a little while, but we're back. We had some things we had to take care of, but we're back. Before we go deep into Holy Mountain, which I'm sure we will, we got some Spotify playlists.
Spotify.
We are doing our top sea shanties from the 1800s. No, I was just listening to some sea shanties before we got on here. We're not going to do that, though. We're doing our favorite cover songs. So we'll change it up. I'll go first this time. Usually I let you guys do it. So my first one, I got Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm.
Nice.
Very nice. When I first started listening to that song, I didn't even realize it was a Michael Jackson song. I just liked the song. And then I found out actually, because J-Mac, your sister was making fun of me for listening to Michael Jackson. And I was like, I wasn't listening to Michael Jackson. What are you talking about? It took me like a year to figure out what she was talking about.
My sister has big heat with Michael Jackson for some reason. She just hates all Michael Jackson music.
Really?
Don't know why. She just, anytime Jackson comes on, she got to change it immediately.
Was it like long before Accusations and stuff?
Yes, like it's just his music. Like she just, I don't know. Maybe she's a Prince person or something.
She just felt his creep vibes.
Yeah, I don't know.
More of a Prince person. I like that.
Yeah, I mean it's some people like that with the Beatles too. Like they just for whatever reason. Like I think it's more so like I'm kind of like this with certain things, like my Forrest Gump beef and stuff like that. It's like when something is so universally loved, I have to like be there to like put a stop to that.
You like to be an oppositional asshole. It's just what you do.
On certain things. I dig my heels in on certain things.
Speaking of Beatles and opposite little assholes, my first drop will be Joe Cocker's, with a little help from my friends, cover of Lennon and McCartney's version of that, right? Oh man, what a throwback, right? I mean, iconic for what?
Wonder Years.
Hell yeah. Or are you too young for that, Tone?
I'm a little too young for that, yeah.
Oh God, man. He knows nothing of the glory that was Winnie Cooper when we were little kids.
Oh man,
I know of the one.
Iconic.
I never sat down and watched it though.
Well, I actually heard the reboot they did with it, that it's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh yeah,
but it's
I haven't checked it out either.
It's a black family. It's like during the civil rights movement and all that kind of shit. So, but the first series was iconic, man. That shit was dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out
Hell
Tom
yeah, man.
from TNT. He's a huge Wonder Years fan. He's an old soul.
Exact.
He's my age, but like he might as well be like 60.
I know he thinks golf is a sport. That's
Well,
crazy.
that's a whole separate issue. But like just his music taste and like even movies and stuff, like you would think he was born in like the 70s or the 80s, but yeah, he's an
Better
old
watch
soul at heart.
our fans that like golf are gonna come after you.
Listen, golf.
I'm ready for the beef.
Listen, if you want to play golf as a leisure activity, fine, whatever, have at it. Don't tell me
Even
it's a
bring the
sport.
beef from your favorite place, Chuppies or whatever that place is called.
Oh, Chucky's, not Chucky's, Bucky's.
What's it called?
Bucky's.
Bucky's.
God,
Bucky's beef sticks.
That fucking rat.
shut up.
Do they got
Bucky
beef
alone.
sticks there?
They got everything there.
You like
Do
your
they
beef
make their
sticks,
own
huh?
Slim Jims?
Yeah, bro. They got
It's made out of
literally
fucking
like
rodent.
a 30-foot long deli counter of just fucking beef
Deadly
jerky
meats.
and fucking all kinds of shit, man. I get my venison and pork sausage from there. It's fucking delicious.
Oh shit, that's sick, man.
It's one of the most American
Seriously?
things I've ever heard. A 30-foot long counter of just beef jerky.
Oh, it's phenomenal. The fucking the
wow.
cherry maple beef jerky that they got in that bitch. What?
I could see it
Teresa
being good.
likes the what you get, the burritos from there, the tacos or something. You go and you put it in a little computer and they make it up for you. It's good
Oh
stuff.
shit.
I would talk shit about gas station food, but I lived in Philly for a couple of years and they got Wawa there. Wawa's got pretty good food. They got the same thing. You walk in with a touch screen, you order your sandwich and everything. It's pretty good.
Bro, Wawa's does not hold a candle to Bucky's.
I never
Buc-ee's.
had Bucky's burritos or quesaritos, whatever the fuck you're talking about. I never had those, so I can't speak on it. But Wawa's solid.
It's not even, you can't even call it gas station food. Bucky's is like Walmart, Cracker Barrel, and a gas station had some weird three-way baby.
Oh shit.
Something we never thought we needed.
Sounds
But once you got it,
crazy.
you can't live without it.
All right. J-Mac, you got a song?
Yeah, actually sticking with the Beatles theme. This is a cover of the Beatles song, I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's by TV Carpo, and it was from the movie Across the Universe. I don't know if you guys ever seen. They did that movie where they used all the Beatles songs and stuff, but she sings it as like a ballad. It's pretty fucking dope.
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I've never seen it, but fucking Caragiulo's in it. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't have said that.
He's gonna get him on a watch list. He's an extra in a movie.
Yeah, he's an extra in it. He folds like a flag at a funeral or something.
I gotta look for him, man. I figured now that you say it, I do remember hearing that, but I never actually spotted him on screen.
That's funny.
Nice. All right. So my next song is a cover of "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies, but it's covered.
Orange Cassidy.
No, Maxine Siren. It's a piano cover. It's purely instrumental, but it's like the most soothing, relaxing like piano cover that. And like I knew that song before, and I was listening to that. I heard it somewhere on Instagram. I'm like, this sounds familiar. So I found it. I was listening to it, and I realized what it was. But it's a very nice, soothing piano cover. No lyrics or anything. Just yeah.
But the original song is "When Your Feet on the Ground." Right?
Yeah, so it's one at the
Yeah.
end of Fight Club when they're watching the buildings go down and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy's. We were just talking to E-Dub a second ago. Tomorrow night, from when we're recording,
Nice.
that's his theme song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't
supposed to
know.
walk out
I didn't
music.
know what you were talking about, but now I get it.
He's like, what?
I just smile and nod when I don't understand
He
what's
just
going on.
Orange Cassidy reminds me of me and Tone's younger cousin Daniel. Like he's just this laid back, like if he was a pro wrestler, he'd be Orange Cassidy.
I don't know if Daniel would cut it in pro wrestling. He's a little skinny. Might get
Yeah,
beat
if it
up.
was Orange Cassidy.
Okay, I don't know Orange Cassidy, but
Well, step your game up, son.
shout
You gotta start
out
wrestling
Perry.
talk.
Shout out Perry.
Perry, yes.
Shout it out.
All right, Joey, what do you got?
Hell yeah. Up next, I'm going to throw out Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower. Hell yeah.
That's a cover?
Oh, Bob Dylan wrote the original.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
that's how good it is. I didn't even know there was an original.
Yeah, the original's like so slow, and compared to fucking Hendrix just shredding, Dylan said that, he thought it was fantastic or whatever, but I feel like in my gut, he was a little pissed. Hating. But yeah, all on the watchtower, man. Hendrix.
Nice. All right, what do you got, J-Mac?
Yeah, this one I actually, a friend of mine, girl I know, she posted the live version of it on Facebook, like the YouTube video of it being performed. And then I just was like, I forgot about it. And I was like, let me look this up. And I saw they actually had it on Spotify. But it was Hopelessly Devoted to You, the song from Grease. But this one's by the Mariachi Entertainment System. So it's a mariachi version of Hopelessly Devoted to You. I think, honestly, the girl sounds a little better in the live version. But, it's up on Spotify, so it's pretty dope if you're into mariachi music.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. My next one is a cover of Nothing Else Matters from Metallica. It's covered by Apocalyptica, and it's another piano cover. This was actually in the show The Leftovers. It's in a scene. I don't remember exactly what's going on in the scene, but it's a different kind of tone from the actual song. It's a little more slow and relaxed again because of the piano, but in the show it works perfect with the scene. In a nice kind of relaxing, because I've been listening to a lot of Immortal Technique also, so I also need something like take the edge off after I listen to him. Mm-hmm. So I listen to some piano covers and stuff. Yeah. So what do you got, Joey?
Up next, I got the Grateful Dead, one of my all-time favorite bands. Their cover of Good Lovin' by Rudy Clark and Arthur Resnick, which was the #1 hit single for the Young Rascals in 1966. You know that song, Good Lovin'. Dun, 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 good. You don't know it, young guy, but I'm sure J-Mac, he probably heard it before on the radio. It's a classic song.
You guys are listening to the radio in the 60s? You're older than I thought.
Nah, but he'd be fucking working in the school and the fucking 104.3. He'll be rocking with all the guys doing the job, and he's definitely heard it before.
Yeah. All right, so
yeah, on. We can't get kicked off for like 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, I got Live and Let Die by Guns N' Roses.
Ooh.
Actually, until I met my wife, I didn't even know this was a cover song. Never heard the original as a kid. I just always thought it was a Guns N' Roses song.
Who did the original?
That's funny. Paul McCartney and Wings.
Yeah, McCartney Wings.
Okay. Nice. So this is my last one. I think you guys got a couple extra than me. It's not really a cover. It's more of like a remix, reimagining. But Sexual Healing by an artist named Kygo. It's like a tropical EDM type of music, but it remixes. It takes Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, and it's just like it's very. I'm not usually into that type of music, like the electronic, at least not anymore. When there aren't certain substances involved, but this one gets you in the mood, gets you going, gets the juices flowing.
Nice.
Gets the juices.
I'm a big Marvin Gaye fan myself, so
yeah. What's there not to like about Marvin Gaye? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, Joey, what do you got?
All right, my last is going to be an array of songs by one band. So one of my all-time favorite bands is Fish with a PH. For those who've never heard of this band.
Like Fat Farm.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I haven't heard that in a long ass time. Does that exist still?
I don't know.
But yeah, so they cover tons of songs, but a couple of standouts are my favorite. First would be a cover of the James Gang, Walk Away. And the specific versions of these will be in the screenshot I send you, Tones. Okay. But I was actually at that show, Boardwalk Hall 2010, when they played that. Another, both from the Talking Heads. One would be Cities, live in Utica, also was there actually, and Cross-Eyed and Painless from Coral Sky album. And lastly, oh man, this is awesome. They cover 2001. Also, Spratch Zarathustra, you know, friggin' Nature Boy.
Okay.
And yeah. Again, there's like a 24-minute version on there you could find or some shit. But that's like an old freaking tone poem by Richard Strauss from like back in the day. So yeah, they freaking rock that shit, mad funky. It's sick. 2001 by Fish. You cannot go wrong, man. You just can't help but sway that hips and dance. Yeah.
Nice.
Rock and roll.
I've never gotten into Fish really, but people that I know that like Fish love Fish.
Yeah, I've seen them 78 times.
Jeez, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I could justify spending money on doing anything 78 times.
Please, he's traveled across country to see those fucking guys.
Yeah, no, there's people.
Absolutely.
Like, I knew kids that used to go to shows, and they would say that they would see the same people at every show. Like there was, he met like a guy that would just make a living just selling acid at Fish shows. Like, you go there, sell just enough for his tickets and like to get free acid, and then just like, you know, and just travel with them.
There's people who sell all sorts of shit to make a living on tour. Like, yo, there was these ones they sold like it was called like the bomb grilled chicken sandwich or whatever. It was like a grilled chicken with mac and cheese on it. Like, and I was like, But then there's people who make a living selling veggie burritos, like Crystals, you know, like fucking Tapestry. But I forgot what the freaking point I was gonna say was, because I got caught up thinking about all that shit. But yeah, man. Some of the best times of my life.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like, yeah, we ended up at a show here, actually, locally in Jones Beach, and we met these group of kids behind us, you know, guys, and they're like, "Yeah, we're the Goodfellas." They were like Italian paisans from Long Island, and they had like the Goodfellas logo, but with a PH, and that was like how they rolled, the Goodfellas. And so like we'd see them at shows all the time. They'd be like, "Oh, Giuseppe, yo," and we'd be like, "Yo, what up, boys?" And like we'd hang out at shows and shit. But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. It's good times, man. Rock and roll.
Nice.
Shout out to the Goodfellas.
Shout out to the Goodfellas. J-Mac, just I guess whatever you have left. Empty the clip.
You done, Joe? Or you got other?
No, that was the. I could keep going. You want me to keep going?
No, I'm saying you want to finish yours, and then I'll just finish mine since he's.
No,
out.
that was it because I did all four from them.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so,
no. So
I wasn't being a dick. Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, I don't know what's happening. All right, so I got three more. Got Unchained Melody, but the Al Green version.
Ooh.
Nice. It's hauntingly beautiful if you listen to it.
Yeah.
There's that one. I got Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Israel, and I'm screw this.
I know
name.
Yeah. The Hawaiian dude, right?
Kawawawi Oli, something like that. The whole, the Hawaiian.
He's like the 400-pound Hawaiian dude with the little ukulele.
Yeah, like the voice of an angel coming out of a freaking, Maui from Moana. And then Killing Me Softly by the Fugees. Because that version with Lauryn Hill singing it, probably, like, for a cover song to be as popular as that song was, pretty impressive shit at the time. It's actually one of two cover songs on that first Fugees album. If anybody knows the other one, let me know, and I'll fucking, I don't know, shout you out somewhere or some shit. We don't got nothing.
We'll shut you out. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, we'll have those. I think we decided we're gonna do a separate playlist for all these covers. Kind of same thing we do with like the Christmas ones, the movie ones. So look out for that. That'll be in the link tree. Also check out all the socials in the link tree, the website, all that stuff. We ready to get into this movie?
Yeah, man, ready as well to be.
Okay. So I figured we could kind of break it up into a couple parts. I figured we could like do the first part, with following the thief until he meets the alchemist, and then maybe the next part where it's introducing all the other characters, and then like the journey afterward. I don't know. I was just because it's a lot to kind of tackle.
Well, I think we should do it like this. Like, the movie is extremely surreal. So first, we'll go around and give our initial thoughts, and then let's like give the audience a baseline plot of this movie, like the basic plot.
Like the two-sentence fucking synopsis that's all over the internet that you read and you're like, "Wow, this is what this is going to be," and then it's not.
It is hard to describe this movie in a synopsis. But yeah, I mean,
I think I could describe it in a way, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's do, and then we'll just, after we describe the plot, we'll go into spoilers and crazy shit, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And just whatever, free for all.
All right, so I guess I'll go first. So this movie was a trip. The first time I watched it, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I rewatched it today, and I was able to appreciate it a little bit more.
Shit.
There was definitely some things that I did not like about the movie, but there was a lot of stuff, like especially the commentary on certain issues that he was talking about that 50 years later ring more true now than ever. I feel like.
Sure.
But overall, I did like the movie. Probably not gonna watch it for a while. This might be something I revisit in a couple of years when I kind of forgot a lot of this stuff.
It's funny you say that because that's how it is with me. I've probably seen it, I don't know, maybe 5-6 times, but I've also, first time I saw it was 20 years ago, or actually 19 years ago when I was 18. So, and I looked in my notes because I was like, I feel like I took notes on this before, and I typed it in. I didn't, but it showed the last time I watched it. It was 2 years ago, December 2019. So, yeah, it's not like I'm gonna watch this shit all the time type deal. And the time before that was probably even longer than 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. J-Mac, what did you think?
Well, you know me, man. Like, I really do believe that, movies are art. And sometimes you could walk into a museum and see the Mona Lisa. And sometimes you could walk into a museum and see some jerk off duct tape the banana to a wall. And I feel like this is the equivalent of a fucking banana duct tape to a wall.
Oh shit!
I don't know, man. There was a lot that went into this movie. So you could. I mean, I think you could argue that maybe it was a little pretentious at times, but
bro, this is in all the fucking movies we've watched. For fucking any show that me and Joey did in the past. This is the first time on any movie that we've ever watched where I seriously considered turning it off at one point. Where I was just gonna be, I was at a point where I was like, "Fuck this shit." And
that's saying something because you guys watched some stinkers on.
Watched some really fucking bad movies.
Yeah, and I get that there is some fucking commentary in here. It's just, and I enjoy the pretentious douchery, like I do, I can. But to me, like, there's ways of putting that shit in a movie and still making the movie fucking enjoyable. We talked about a whole lot of shit in The Lighthouse that a person who just watched The Lighthouse could have just enjoyed The Lighthouse as a Descent into Madness movie and not fucking look at all the other themes inside of it. I don't think anybody who's not going to sit there and try to figure out fucking alchemy signs and shit like that will enjoy a second of this fucking movie.
Right. Well, I mean, like, for starters, this is actually an adaptation of two different things, right?
Okay.
This is not just he didn't just make this up out of nowhere, right? So Jodorowsky took these two pieces, and I'll tell you exactly what they are if my little computer here worked. The fuck is it?
One of them's like a 16th century book or some shit, isn't it?
Yes, they're The Ascent of Mount Carmel by John the Cross. And that was a 16th century spiritual treatise by a Spanish Catholic mystic and poet, Saint John of the Cross. So, I mean, right away he's taking some fucking spiritual, mystical 16th century text and then pairing it with, I think it's the more of the adaptation, Mount Analog, and that's by René Dumont, who was a student of this philosopher, this Russian philosopher who also influenced Jodorowsky. So, I mean, you know, they both have parallels, right? And then he obviously takes it to what's going on in the world today. Not today, in 1960s, 70s, because this came out in 1973. So, I mean, one thing to take into consideration about the film is like J Max says, bro, not everybody's going to like avant-garde, right? Avant-garde art, you know, no matter what the medium is trying to create something that's never been done before, you know what I mean? That's brand new, and it's not an easy thing to do, you know? Hence why, you know, Andy Warhol made a movie called Empire, and it was like a 20-hour still camera on the Empire State Building. Like, that's the whole fucking movie.
Riveting
you know?
stuff.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that? You know, same thing, like, there was this poet, Aram Sorian or something like that. I forgot his name or whatever. He was this dude from California, and he was a poet. And in, like, the 60s, he wrote a book of poems, and it was like I in big letters on one page, EYEYE, and just, like, weird shit like that, you know? And it was like, well, what's the point of this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never done before. But, like, this is exactly that. It's avant-garde art. It's not. It's him taking, you know, his vision on so many different things that make up the human condition and life, and putting his fucking, you know, crazy take on it. I mean, he's half Spanish, half Polish dude, so he's got like a unique background. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
all that influence with religion, philosophy. You know, he's a very well-educated man. You know what I mean?
Now,
go for it.
I was going to say, I did a little research on him. I watched a little video on Jodorowsky, and so he was born in Chile, moved to France for a little bit, came back to Mexico City, and while he was there, he formed a collective with Fernando Arrabal and Roland Topor, who were other like artists, and they formed a movement called the Panic Movement. And what they would do is they would make like short films, different pieces of art with just like kind of surrealist, ridiculous things in them, and they would like get a kick out of watching the critics like watch it and try to put the pieces together. Like they would just do random shit just to fuck with people, and like trying to watch people to like, oh, this is what it means, but like,
right.
So I kind of sense a little bit of that in here. I mean, there's definitely like other messages he's trying to get across, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was certain scenes that he was just like, I'm gonna throw this in here.
Absolutely. You know, and that's something that I questioned when I watched him. Like, how much of this is he doing to just laugh? He's, you know, it's like his own personal joke in some parts. You know what I mean? Like, how can I get a reaction out of people?
Because there was a couple parts where I laughed out loud, just like how like ridiculous they were. I mean, not to throw any spoilers out, but at the end they're like climbing a mountain, and one of the women is like, I can't do it. And this guy goes, rub your clitoris on the mountain. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she just started dry humping the mountain. I'm like, what is going on here? Like that, he was fucking with people. I don't think there was a deeper message there of like, I don't know, maybe the mountain represents toxic masculinity or something, you know. But I think he was just fucking with people.
I want to talk about that, and I'm like, got a lot to say, but we can't yet. We can't go with it. But at that point in the movie too, you're like, you're so vested, and it's like all of a sudden it keeps getting more and more, not obscure, obscure, because I mean, it's not that it wasn't obscure from the get-go, but more and more like, it's, I don't want to say comedic, I don't want to say obscure, I don't know the exact word. Absurd. That's a great word. You know, almost like a parody in a way, you know what I mean? Of itself.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that.
You know, like the end of the movie is the only time I cringed on this watch, and it was the cow sex.
Yeah, that was it was a bit much. There was a couple scenes in here that were a bit much. That was up towards the top of the list.
And think about it, like right now in 2022, I mean, I've seen this movie so many times. I'm so desensitized to it and other films. I'm sure you guys are too. And just imagine, like, this is his second movie. His first one was El Topo, which is there it is. El Topo, man. Fucking, it's like known as one of the original Midnight movies. And like, this is his second movie. So it's like that movie's already full of amputees and naked boys and weird fucking shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, how can I take it further? Because after this, the movies don't, they're still like Santa Sangre has surrealism still, but like it gets more grounded. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not as obscure. It's not as off the walls. It's not as, his films start to make more sense, right? So, this movie, it has like, it had to like live up to its predecessor El Topo, on so many fronts. So like, not only is he like artistically, trying to say something, all that stuff, he's also thinking about fucking fame. This was financed by the Beatles producer. Like John Lennon loved this guy's first movie. Like this shit, Andy Warhol, all these guys are, in the back of his head. So it's like, how can I also acquire some fame out of this too? You know what I mean? Hence a lot of the crazy shit in the movie too. You know?
Say what you want about this movie, but you'll be talking about it afterwards. Based on the shit, like the ridiculous shit that's in it. Whether good or bad, some people say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I don't necessarily believe it, but if you got people talking about it, that's helping with that fame for sure.
Yeah, sure. Oh shit, it's bad shit. So, I guess I could just give my initial thoughts because I didn't get. Because like the way I stumbled upon this movie, because it's like, how did I find out about this movie, right? Mm-hmm. Especially 20 years ago, when internet and stuff, it was around, but it wasn't like
it's not what it is.
Hi,
today.
bing, bing, bing. What happened was I was at jury duty at 18, and I had met this guy. I want to say his name was Don, and he was from Coney Island. He was there, and he was telling me about like. How we used to go fucking watch this movie El Topo and like the midnight movies, like take LSD and go watch it and everything. And I was like, 18 and a little psychonaut myself or whatever. And fucking, of course I'm trying to like seek out anything trippy and psychedelic at that point, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Oh, put it with the Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, man. You put it with the Wizard of Oz, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, so I went out and I'm like, yo, I can't find this movie anywhere. What the fuck? So in like 2000, it must have been either 2000, it had to be 2003, because I turned 18 in late 2002. So probably at some point in 2003, I ordered it off eBay. Fucking bootleg. Came from who knows where. I still have it in the other room, but I also have the Blu-ray. Actually ordered El Topo first, and then The Holy Mountain. So that's how I first came across it. And then when I first watched it, I didn't know anything about analysis. I wasn't a fucking professor or a reader of anything, a poet or none of that stuff. So the first time I seen it was just like this movie's fucking insane. And I remember showing my friends, and they'd be like, what the fuck is this? What's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah.
So that's how I stumbled upon this shit.
That's a wild conversation to have with a stranger in jury duty.
Just
talk about the Holy Mountain.
It absolutely is. Yeah, it absolutely is. But without that, I don't think I would have encountered it, man. But I remember putting this film on and just being like, what? Now I watch it and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's the fucking lizard and toad explosion scene. Hell yeah. Sorry, J-Mac. A lot of different scenes. In my notes, I'm like, What would J Mac think of this?
And I looked it up. He actually did blow up those lizards, which was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but at least a lot of those other animals they ate.
Did they eat them like after the fact?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was also a dog
the
fighting
rams.
scene in there. That was like.
But that was like dogs playing, like without that music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it was the camera angles, and they did look a little bloody, but I guess they could put stuff on them.
I think it was just like the dogs horsing around. But yeah, definitely bizarre ass film. And you know, as every time I watch it, I'm seeing new things in the film, and you look down for 1 second and forget about it. You can miss something. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? It's just great. Like you look down and you miss the guy light the joint with the, you know what I mean? All of a sudden they pull out a fatty. I'm like, whoa, yeah, dude. You know?
Is it fucked up of me that I wouldn't take a joint from that guy?
I mean,
I don't know. Like that it's just, I don't know.
I know. Put yourself in the you know, the freaking conquest of Mexico or whatever it was, and see.
Yeah. I don't know. Yes.
All right. So yeah. Again, I mean, this is not like, let's watch Holy Mountain. Woohoo! Like I don't feel like that when I watch this. I thought that's how it would be, you know, like from the guys' conversation. But I mean, I guess you really had to be like tripping on good LSD in the 1970s to really fucking and be like, yeah, Holy Mountain, let's climb it, motherfuckers.
I think there's parts of it that are visually cool enough where if you were on some shit, you probably would really be enjoying. Like the fucking rainbow room, that rainbow hallway that he's walking down. A lot of the scenes in that tower, you know, and shit, like the set pieces were cool. And I can almost see like some like Clockwork Orange shit in there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was reminiscent of that stuff, but
absolutely,
you know.
I mean, martial law is, you know, relevant outside of the U.S. a lot more than we realize, you know?
Yeah.
Especially right in Mexico where, you know, a lot of this is he's, you know, talking about, you know.
Is it Mexico? I was trying to figure that out because I saw he's Chilean, but I thought it was Mexico at first.
I'm pretty sure it's
Mexico.
I mean,
filmed in Mexico City.
Okay.
And like, you know, with the scene with the whole conquest of Mexico thing, I think that's like, you know, part of the. So I feel like, you know, he's talking about things going on specifically there. And then, like, it starts getting bigger, you know, like, globally at the time. Then bigger than that, like, human beings historically, you know what I mean? Like, there's this whole landscape of commentary that I think he's trying to make, that it goes from, you know, the self and I to the fucking cosmic universe and existentialism and what everything means, you know?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I thought this whole, especially after the conversation we had on last episode, I just kept thinking aliens the whole time. No, I'm serious, and I have notes to back it up. I don't know if you want to get into it now, but like I have, especially because I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens, so a lot of this stuff was kind of like ringing bells when certain things were being said.
Those opening credits could have been UFOs, like all those freaking like eye-looking.
Yeah.
Type. I mean, you know, it was funny you said that because like at one point, I can't remember exactly it was, and I didn't write it down, but it was like aliens, but I can't remember what it was, and then it just totally gone, farted away.
Well, I was, so like I said, I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens, and there was one episode where they kept talking about these holy mountains, like in all these different regions, like Mount Fuji, Mount Everest, like, you know, all these different, Mount Olympus, you know, these mountains where they said, like, you know, these divine beings lived. And they talked about the 9 immortal men. There was another episode I watched where all these ancient civilizations had these tales of they called the divine 9, and these 9 beings that would watch over Earth and make sure everything was running according to plan. They were immortal. He opened up a book at one point, a Rosicrucian manuscript, and it had a picture of the 9. And I Googled Rosicrucian, and it said a member of that thing is a member of a worldwide brotherhood claiming to possess esoteric wisdom handed down from ancient times. Again, Ancient Aliens, all that kind of stuff.
We actually brought them up last episode when we were going over the CE5 shit.
The Rosicrucian?
The Rosicrucian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even remember that, but and there's a couple of quotes I have in here. These goes, with the right combination, any human can become enlightened. And if we are to succeed, we must cease to be individuals and become a collective being. I just felt like that all kind of looped in with the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind of thing with the collective consciousness and all that. Right. So that the entire time, that's what I was thinking. And not to mention that each of the characters represented different planets. You could
right, and not only different planets, but different like aspects of humanity that are tearing us apart, tearing the world apart, tearing the cosmos apart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's and they have to come together to rid themselves of all their sins, we'll say, and together band to understand the Enlightenment and say basically save the world type shit.
Yeah,
you could look at it like that. So El Topo by Jodorowsky's first film, right? I think you might enjoy it more, J-Mac, because the plot is a little more grounded in that it's about a guy who goes on a journey similar to many things that we see through history and literature and storytelling, but it's almost like he has to fight different bosses at the end of each level. It's like 4 different levels, north, south, east, and west, and he has to beat all these bosses type deal to achieve the fucking, and El Topo, the mole. So, and again, there's all the weird surrealism, fucking crazy imagery, but it's not as balls to the wall because, like I said, his second movie is trying to make more of a statement, and it's more of like this, like you see him, he's like the man, he's like a gun shooter fucking type guy, like the gunslinger from the what's it called, The Man in Black from Stephen King's the Dark Tower, and it's like him and this little boy, naked little boy, but he clothes him up eventually, and he takes him on the journey, you know what I mean? And again, he has to go against like these 4 bosses. It's cool, and I think you would dig that more than this.
The story in this was like pretty secondary to the movie,
Up until he gets to that fucking town, like the whole first segment of this movie, I could do without ever having to watch again. Like that whole shit was it. That was like a chore to get through that fucking part of the movie. And I mean, if we want to get to, I could get to like the exact part where I was like, I'm gonna turn this shit the fuck off.
Is it when they're ballroom dancing, the fucking gas masked soldiers and men?
No, like, when
you had just dealt with the whole intro.
Fucking takes a shit in the fucking glass jar.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, when he puts it together, he squats over it, and then the next scene you see the shit in the jar. I'm just like, why the fuck am I watching this?
Then he makes him breathe it in too. That was
all right. That's enough.
But like all that plus like the eating of his, face. Remember, like it's the copy of him. He's like eating its face. Yeah. There's a lot of like this, imagery of like trying to destroy the ego. I think, I think that's a big part of this film.
And I mean, I know the beginning there was a lot with all the religious shit, like the whole, mass producing Christ and fucking
right
market. Like I get that stuff. But it wasn't enjoyable to watch. Even when they pull him off the thing and they stick him in the dude who was dressed like Mary's arms, and it looks like the statue, however the fuck you say it, the Lapita, whatever, I don't know, whatever you say the shit, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mary in a nutshell?
The famous statue that she's holding Jesus, like all, like he's all half dead, So
I didn't even make that connection, but I know what you're talking about
so
now.
It's like, I see what he's trying to get at, it's just, this is like, not the way to reach me with this fucking comment.
You want to lick your up to profit off of Jesus, to copy him,
the profiting off of religion, all that shit. But like even like
profiting off the prophet. Profit off the profit of what you're gonna do.
All the prostitutes, and then there was like the little girl there with them. Like that shit bothered me. Like I don't want to see a little girl be a prostitute. You know what I'm saying?
That girl must be traumatized because that scene with the old dude taking out his eye and like putting it in her hand, like licking her hand and shit. Like that was an actual little girl that had to stand there and hold that guy's eye and let him lick her hand. Like that. I don't know. I guess you could do different things in filmmaking back then than you could do now. But
yeah, definitely.
And what was with the monkey?
I mean, it was another country too.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But and then one of the prostitutes had a monkey. What was the deal with that? Do we know what the deal with the monkey was?
Well, her and the monkey follow him throughout the whole film.
Right.
Right. And yeah, in the end, but yeah, why? What does this represent? Right. I mean, I get him and her as like a love thing, but why the fuck is a chimpanzee following the whole time? It's like,
I didn't understand the monkey. The idea of the prostitute following him, I was like, well, maybe they're trying to
like a Mary Magdalene
on all the Mary Magdalene. You know, for a long time she was considered a hooker and shit. But why a monkey? Like, I don't know.
That might have just been the panic movement kind of thing. He was just like, fucking with people. Just let's throw a monkey in there.
Like redemption is a theme. You know what I mean? So she, might be trying to redeem herself too by escaping, that life and trying to follow him, this Christ-like figure on the journey. And while she goes through her own journey in the way too, and that chimpanzee is like her moral compass in a way. You know what I mean? Or maybe some kind of guide to keep her on that journey or keep her from going astray. And I don't know. I'd have to see. I want to do more research. Like I would go into symbolism of chimpanzee and start looking that up and try to connect the dots. But, I mean, we came from that. And if we came from that, maybe that's a more innocent version of us. And we have to go back to that to re-get back humanity or something.
I was just thinking something along those like
baser
lines of innocence. Yeah, exactly. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think the monkey was turning tricks?
They were holding hands the whole time, so I mean, it was definitely like some.
Like
no,
group,
but I think holding hands the whole time was just the connection between them all. You know, almost like that connected. He without that link, it wouldn't connect the two of them together. And it could also be a symbolic for like a baby.
Yeah, little hairy baby.
Oh shit.
Now, I guess
it's wild, man.
You want to get into like spoilers and stuff now?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, to keep going with all the shit we're talking about, I mean, that's one thing I like about the movie. You can like take one scene and just pick it apart and have fun with it. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why I love like John Waters' earlier movies, specifically Pink Flamingos. You can watch it. It's fucking crazy as shit. You know what I mean? And but there's messages behind it. It's not just throwing shit at the wall for no reason. You know what I mean? There's motive.
J-Mac smirking over that. I don't know if he agrees with that statement.
Yeah. No, I mean I never watched Pink Flamingos mostly because I heard about it. And I don't know how much commentary you could get out of a person eating shit, but whatever. I mean, I'm sure you can because you're joking.
Dude, all we do is eat shit in America, bro. Yeah. That's totally symbolic.
If you got a shitty boss,
I mean, I get it, but I don't.
An hour on Mafia. I connected those dots. Don't you remember? Pink Flamingos, The Lawn, Americana. Hell yeah, bro.
I thought you were bad shit then, bro.
I still am, baby.
Now the first kind of whole sequence, I did kind of like what he was doing with he's going around Mexico or whatever, and there's like kind of these authoritarian figures like Gestapo type police force, and then the entire time you got like tourists running around taking pictures. You got the one blonde chick who's just like lets the guard run train on her. Like, I thought that was interesting how for these third world countries, these kind of Western nations, like they're kind of like our playground. And the fact that like
it's how like guys be like, I went to DR and I fucked all these fucking 12-year-olds, bro.
It's like, no, you stayed in the hotel the whole time.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, and
you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Facetious.
But yeah, no, I mean, and even also the fact that like, there might be these atrocities going on in other parts of the world, and like for us, since we're so far away, it's just like kind of like a novelty. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. You don't realize how brutal it is, but like we watch it, like on the news through like these through cameras and stuff, and you don't realize how brutal it could be. But I thought that was interesting, and that's more true today, I think, than it probably was even 50 years ago.
Right. Yeah. And there was a part, I gotta look at my note. I just wrote COVID. Like, totally relevant. No, not the hippo scene. It's like a baby hippo in the fucking,
I never saw that. I was like, I am not fucking with a hippo. Hippos kill, like, they're the animal that kill the most people every year.
Yeah.
I know it was a baby hippo, but still.
A baby hippo could still fuck you up.
Yeah. And
so,
and also hippos are supposed to be like a symbol of like fertility or some shit too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it was like he was being reborn in the fucking pool or whatever.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be a source of life and water. They live in water and purity, and we need water to survive.
Need water to wash your ass crack.
We need that. The way they come up and submerge, it's like regeneration, rebirth, right? That kind of shit.
I just want to say.
Yeah, go for it.
No, in that scene where he's getting washed in the pool with the hippo or whatever, that chick with the long nails, she's like
Freddy fingers.
Yeah, she's like soaping up his ass. Like I don't know if I would want her hands that close to my business.
Actually, I cringed at that scene too.
Yeah, well, for a
I was
few
like,
reasons.
oh my god, I don't remember like that close of an asshole.
You haven't watched it in 4K yet, right?
Yeah, no, I watched that Blu-ray. Last time. That time when I watched it, I watched it 4K. That's when I got it. But watching it this time in the 4K, it was just like that time I was just like mad, like zonged out watching it. Like this time I was like totally awake, focused, daytime, like June.
Yeah.
Fuck. So yeah, were we saying something else about that scene with the hippo? With the girl with the fingers?
Well, I was just saying that was like I would not want those
push.
blades near that close to my business. Like one slip of the finger and you're castrato.
Yeah. Here's my notes. Do you want gold? Yes. Water dunk. Hippo in water. Washes him up. Ass wash. Gross. Pelican in blue walls. Shits in glass jar. Some bomb chemistry shit. Does the Jewish arm thing. So that's a whole, now a whole nother commentary right there, right? Like that's a very, very specific, religious act, right? So in the beginning, he's talking about Catholicism and Christianity. Then he shifts to that, and then there's the scene later on when he's talking about the weapons on the other planet, and he has like the Hanukkah gun,
Yeah. the menorah,
the menorah gun, you know what I mean? And the guitar gun, but he had three different like.
There was Buddha.
Guns.
There was the Buddha.
Yeah.
There was the menorah, and then there was a crucifix.
Right. So I mean, he's talking about like I think religion in general, not just Christianity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean some of the worst atrocities have been done in the name of religion. No matter what religion. And I thought it was interesting too. His I don't know what you would call her, but the Edward Scissorhands or whatever. She had Hebrew writing all over her body.
Yeah.
So
was that Hebrew?
I think some of it was. There was other stuff in the other. I think there was some like Egyptian-looking hieroglyphs or something, but there was definitely. I think there was definitely some Hebrew letters in there. I'm not an expert, but it looked like it.
So I was gonna say earlier the part when I wrote down COVID in my notes. To tie it back to things that are relevant today, it's when they go to planet Berg, when they talk about Berg, planet is Uranus. And of course they said Uranus. I hate that people say Uranus now, whatever the fuck. They try to like
it's
cover
Uranus,
up.
come on.
It's like, yo, it's part of the goddamn thing, man.
Yeah.
Anus. But also probably one of the craziest of all those scenes. It's the scene with the guy in bed and the lady with the curlers and the fake horse, and she's like peeing on the giant toilet. That's like some John Waters scene right there. But she's like, the window is the wrong size, and I'm just like, no, your fucking toilet is. So, during that scene, I'll get to the COVID thing, but during that scene, J-Mac, do you feed your snakes like that?
No, not
with a
like that.
bottle.
No.
Do you knit them sweaters? That was pretty cool.
No, I've seen them online. People have knitted snake sweaters and stuff.
Cool.
They usually get it just a little. When it's wearing this sweater, that snake was either dead or it was like stuffed or something. Like it was. That was not a living snake wearing that sweater by the time, because that thing wasn't moving at all the way.
You're a professional.
Yeah, I was the first thing I was like, yeah, that's fine. The next one I was like, they killed that motherfucking snake to do this shit.
Yeah, but we know he's not against killing reptilians, so it's possible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I was hoping there was some trickery of the camera, but I doubt it.
So in that scene, he's like, I'm the financial advisor to the president. The president wants a report, and like they go on and they're talking about, they want to save the country's economy, so they must have 4 million citizens in the next 5 years. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Like I've always fucking read literature about population control and shit, but I just like, I was like, oh yeah, man, that's like COVID, yo.
Well, and the crazy thing is the president didn't even hesitate. Like, as soon as he says, he picks up the phone, he's like, all right, let's get the gas chambers going. Like, not even a second thought. If it saves the economy,
not a second thought.
Go. Yeah.
Wild, right? And I'm sure there's others, obviously other things you could tie into it, but that distinct triggered it. That distinct scene triggered it for me. Yeah, I love when they go into that part, and they talk about all the different planets, because that's how he like also goes back into his like, multi-layered commentary. You know what I mean by going through each of them. It's like Fawn, is the comfort in the human body, and they talk about all sorts of shit about materialism, beautification, and all that kind of crazy shit, right?
Now,
gender. That's the scene with the women and the babies. Yeah. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, I was going to say he had all his wives walking around with him. And I don't know if you noticed this, but there was like a couple little girls in the group. Now, I was trying to figure out, were they like child wives? Or, cause, like,
in
they
the
were
wife uniforms.
Right, they were in the wife uniforms. So, like, I don't know what he was trying to say with that, but...
I think he was trying to say he's okay with pedophilia.
The director or this character?
The director. Well, I mean, that's the second time he implied that a little girl should be involved in sex.
And there's also about 100 naked little boys in this movie as well.
Well, just because he's showing it on the screen like that doesn't mean he's implying for it. He's, I think, saying the opposite.
He's implying that.
Don't. I can argue for my movie. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
I know how you want to twist it with your perverted ways.
This is a piece of art, okay?
I know. I'm taking out of context.
We shit in glass jars. We don't shit in fucking paint buckets here. We shit in glass jars, okay? What's it called? Could we actually go back to the opening scene?
Oh, the very first opening scene?
The very opening scene, because like
the V for Vendetta scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. We never really go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of that scene after watching the whole movie in the context of everything?
So I actually watched a little video that kind of broke down certain parts of this movie, and I hadn't thought of this before I watched it, but this guy brought up an interesting point that it was like the fact that it's some kind of cleansing ritual. Like, he starts off, he wipes her makeup off, shaves their head, strips them down.
Right.
That he's kind of preparing the viewer that you're going to have to, like, get rid of all this superficial shit, like strip everything away down to your basics before we get into this shit, more or less. Kind of like what he has the characters do later on, when they're on their trip to the Holy Mountain, how they have to, like, kind of bring everything down to the bare bones. So and once I heard that explanation, that's the one that kind of made the most sense in my head. Because I was even ready to ask you guys, what did you think the deal with that was? Because I was confused as fuck.
Is that the same symbol that's on the New Orleans Saints? There was like these specific kinds of crosses.
Oh,
Fleur de lis.
Fleur de lis, yeah. That's not exclusive to them though. That's like a French, like 17th century kind
right.
of
No, I don't think he's doing the New Orleans Saints. But yeah, I'm saying if that's there,
Big Saints fan.
The original name was the New Orleans Holy Mountains.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be the flower of life, right? It's supposed to be, and saints, right? Italian saints.
Yeah.
So like, are these two becoming saints maybe, and through the alchemist? I don't know, but yeah, is it just showing the power of the alchemist, like that he can have people change? I don't know, but definitely, again, maybe going back to that whole, ego, shedding everything about oneself. You know what I mean? The beautification, the hair, all that stuff. It could be tied into that.
I kind of want to know what the process was, like when he was looking for these actresses. Like, okay, so we're going to pay you for 1 day's work. We're going to shave your head. You're going to get butt ass naked. You're going to kiss each other or whatever. I'm going to have my hands all over you. You cool with that?
Shit.
Okay, $50. Is that cool? All right, let's do it.
We're gonna rip off your nails.
I think if they're shaving their heads, he probably had to come out of pocket. For a chick to shave her head all the way down like that, like, you gotta, them chicks were getting more than,
Yeah, I mean, Natalie Portman did it for. You said you were talking about V for Vendetta. She did it for that, but that was also, she was like the main actress in like a major Hollywood film, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, I was just surprised that he was, and those clippers did not look comfortable. Whatever those fucking like buzz cut thing he had, that looked kind of painful. But
then and after the credits roll, which you get a bunch of like different imagery of eyes and colors and trippy kind of thing. You get the card, the two tarot cards. The one is the Fool, and then one is the Crocodile. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, man. It's supposed to. I don't know. I don't really know. From just looking up, like, what crocodiles mean in general: fierceness, authority, power. But the tarot card of it, I've never even heard of a tarot card of the crocodile.
Nah, either have I.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert, but there's another scene.
There's a lot of different kinds of tarot cards too, though. I don't know if a lot is right, but there's ones that are like specific to astrology. There's, you know what I mean? Like, there's like a moon deck. There's all kinds of fucking shit. So the exact same one that you have, that it might not be like the more popular. I don't know if I'm using the right fucking terminology for tarot.
It's funny you say that, because you reminded me of the crescent moon that's hanging in the little guy's ear, right? And a crescent moon is symbolic for like fertility and motherhood. And think about it, he like is taking care of him throughout the whole movie, until the end when he shuns them away. Yeah. Right? Like we do to our mothers in the end. We shun and leave our mothers and move on. Like, think about it, right?
Interesting.
Because, like, come on, he's doing everything for strategically, whether it's for a laugh or not. But I was like, bro, he just has a big old crescent moon earring on right now. Yeah. Like,
and he had a tarot card on his back, too. I didn't see what it was, but he had something strapped to his back.
He did, and I did not catch what it was.
Yeah. I want to get back to the crocodile real quick. There was another scene in the movie with the crocodile. I don't know if you remember, but there was like 3 soldiers on like the sidewalk, and they like opened up the sidewalk and pulled it out. I don't know if that's tied in with it, maybe somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Like, that was just one of many scenes that appeared to not really have any context. It was just like, let's just throw a crocodile in here,
Yeah, let's throw some more amphibians into the mix. More reptiles.
Fucking peacocks everywhere and all kinds of shit.
So I don't think we actually said like the base plot, but the base plot is like, a guy, the Fool, right? Like the tarot card, who's trying like to redeem himself spiritually through this journey that he has to go on with the most, strongest and powerful people in the world, and each of them represent a different, like, almost vulgarity of humanity and society, and they all have to bond together to become a super team to find out the fucking answer to the eternity.
Looking like fucking a crew of Gandalfs trampling through the fucking wilderness at one point.
Tell me there is not LOTR shit embedded in here, bro. Come on.
It
was Fellowship. The way they look, the fucking Gandalf, the brown, the fucking
the brown, gray, and all that shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Now it was interesting. The first time through, like, it shows all these people that from the different planets and stuff, and I'm like, these are like the worst of the worst that humanity has to offer. And then all of a sudden, at the drop of a hat, they're the good guys. So I was a little confused by that. But then now, after watching it again, I was like, okay, it's more about like redemption and being like, even if you are one of these terrible people, you could still reach this enlightenment. If you shed all that and you could kind of start over almost.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, he pairs up this serious, commentary with like flashing nipple art, as the backdrop of fucking Isla's bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it opens up and like dogs run out, and then like these three women pop up, and it's like, good morning, and I'm like, you're like,
those poor
what?
dogs.
But like, he's talking about some serious shit in there. You know what I mean? He's talking about fucking gender roles, right? He's talking about fucking war. He's talking about slavery. He's talking about fucking so many things. Then it goes into like the whole psychedelic thing where it's like, okay, now you're talking about, the counterculture mixed in with the war. You know what I mean? Who the hell, would pair those together like that? You know what I mean? It's weird. It's bizarre. Think about it, like the imagery of those religious icons as weapons, as, guns. You know what I mean? And like you said before, fucking religion has stemmed some of the most violent and crazy shit ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, and obviously there's the religion, the violence aspect of it, but also the profit aspect of the religion, where it's like it's supposed to be this pure thing about God and holiness, but like there's people, whether it's making the cast of Jesus out of the thief, or the guns with the crucifix and the menorah on it, and even the whole Station of the Cross thing, where the tourists come up and they make them carry the cross and all that. Now, what did you think of the fat Romans?
Oh shit! From the beginning, you mean?
Yeah, the beginning. I feel like there was a bit of like an imperialist, like kind of, fat cat kind of profiting off of the third world.
Absolutely. Like, it almost reminded me of like some like bad dudes on the strip in Aladdin or something. Like trying to fucking get over on get over on the drunk guy.
Yeah.
He just like, he wakes up, he pisses himself. Like, that's legit piss.
Yeah, but Buddy's got a drinking problem. I mean, he's sitting there. He's got 4 bottles laying around. He's so drunk, like knocked out, that he has flies all over his face and has no idea.
Yeah.
That shit went up real quick.
Right before we get to those Romans, right? You see like the bin full of young dead people, they're young men in there, right? And then the soldiers, and then you see women, they're ironing bloody aprons, right? Then you get the firing squad, right? And again, you could miss this in a flash, and you see who they shoot. Who do you think they shoot?
They're younger people.
But like, look at the way they dress. They look like college students. You know what I mean? They have like the fucking like sweater vest looking things, like a skirt, plaids. Like, they look like, almost like, I don't know if it happened yet or not. What was that? Was that Tiananmen Square? And when college kids were killed?
I don't.
Was that Tiananmen Square?
I don't know.
Tiananmen Square's got like Tank Man was and stuff. I don't know if they're specifically college kids.
Right. Well, there wasn't there something in America.
1989 protest.
In America, there was something, I think, in the 60s, right, where there was like a protest at a college, and they shot some students or something. Am I talking crazy right now?
No, it definitely. I just can't remember when it was.
Unless you're thinking of like the movie Higher Learning, but that was like the 90s.
Yeah.
Kent State. There was 4 people were killed, 9 were wounded. They were unarmed Kent State students. I think they were protesting the Vietnam War, and the National Guard opened fire on them.
Yeah. So, it's like, okay, what are they trying to say? Like, government's trying to kill academia. Like, academia could have too much power. And then think about that today. Like, look at the way scientists, and if you get too far into it and you start knowing things, the government will come in and shut your ass out, right?
Well, look at fucking, not to get, swing. Well, fuck it. We're kind of deal with conspiracy shit on here. Look at, if you go through all the fucking people they know that went to fucking Epstein's Island, how many of them were scientists?
A
This is
lot.
one of the ways that they were able to compromise these fucking guys to be able to bend the science the way they wanted to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he had cameras everywhere.
Nerdy fucking scientist who's never fucking gotten laid in his life, and you show up there and you're pumping full of fucking ecstasy, and you bring out a bunch of hot chicks, and then you videotape them, and then that's like, oh yeah, by the way, that girl was like 17, and now that dude, you own that dude after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, you thought Neil deGrasse Tyson was a good guy, huh?
Big Bang Theory, all right.
The fact that you've ever seen him get asked about aliens? He gives the most cop-out answer.
Yeah, he's a bitch. I don't like it.
He's just like, oh, well, we don't have any evidence. It's like, bro, come on. We all know there's aliens.
Like,
give me something here.
Fucking work with me, Neil.
Yeah.
Work with me, bro. Anywhoods. Yeah, that's like 2 minutes into the movie. A lot of shit goes down, right? You get the Great Toad and Chameleon Circus, of course. Today, the Conquest of Mexico, right? Clown guy with a Nazi hat, of course. What the hell? What is going on here? Like, I understand, the comments you're trying to make, but like, World War II was fucking 30 plus years prior.
Now, so he was. I'm trying to figure out when exactly this was, but because he was from Chile,
but I'm pretty sure he's Jewish, right?
Well, I think he got displaced during World War II. He was from like Russia or Poland or something, and then they moved to Chile. Because Jodorowsky is definitely not.
Yeah, I was saying Jodorowsky's Polish, ain't he?
Yeah, something like that. But around this time in the 70s was when Pinochet took over in Chile. So maybe there was some kind of, because he was pretty authoritarian dictator kind of guy. So maybe there was something there with the swastika, the fascism angle. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to connect the dots here because I saw that too, and I was like, huh, just throw a clown with the swastika on his hat. That's a peculiar. Or maybe he's saying that Nazis are clowns. Could be going with that too.
I'm trying to remember. Like, was it legit like a military hat?
No,
it was
like a top hat.
Mad Hatter looking.
Yeah,
because the swastika wasn't always just a Nazi symbol. It was used. This was
like the red band with like the white circle. Right. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I only saw it the one time, and it was.
I mean, he could just be
a lot to fucking taking. So
yeah, it's definitely a lot taken. But yeah, I was like, how sad does this make you, J-Mac? This scene, the conquest of Mexico via toads and chameleons.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, man. At first I was like, all right, this is fucking weird. But then it was like, is he blowing up these fucking lizards and frogs and shit?
How many takes you think they did? How many frogs and lizards do you think they went through? Was it a one take deal, or was it just like, all right, we didn't get it, we gotta get some more in here?
Get some more in here. Yo, how crazy looking though is it? Like when it zooms up to it, they just like look like these fucking ultimate like bulldog-esque lizard fucking army dudes. Like they look cool. They look cool.
It was cool up until they started blowing them up.
Yeah. But they look cool dressed up as little soldier dudes, man. Yeah. I was like, I could totally see like tripping balls in like 1973. Like, oh my god, you know, like, they just blew up the frogs.
So crazy.
Oh shit! Then you know it shifts to Christ for sale sign. You know, like okay, now where are we going with this one? And the fucking Roman guys rolling dice.
Yeah.
Playing some CeeLo.
You know? It's fucking nuts, bro. Oh, man. And they get him loaded. Fucking carbon copying his ass. Making Jesus stands out of him.
Now, so when he wakes up and he goes berserk and starts trashing everything, it reminded me of, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus goes into a temple and there's a bunch of like merchants set up. And he's one of the only times he loses his cool in the Bible, and he flips his shit and starts smashing all the tables, like chasing people out, because like it's a house of God. You're not supposed to be selling.
He
stuff
actually
in there.
whips the tax collectors. He snatches
Yeah.
and he whips it, and the dude is whipping the fucking soldiers while they're sleeping.
So I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot there, and then he starts walking around carrying it with him. Now, when he finally gets rid of it. Right, he ties some balloons to it, and it floats up in the air, but it's upside down. Now, what do you think that was on purpose? You know,
Hail Satan!
Yeah, because that's what they do, right? They get the upside down cross.
And it's interesting because it's being lifted by the red and the blue. You know, so did they use that for the Matrix?
Okay,
red and the blue pill.
Yeah.
Which side are you gonna go on, man?
Do you think he watched The Matrix before he did that scene?
Yeah, bro, of course. No, The Matrix took the red and the blue from him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's weird because that upside down cross, before it was adopted into like Satanism and shit, was known as, what was it, the St. Peter's cross? One of the saints was crucified upside down.
Yeah, they used to, whenever they would find Christians, they would crucify them upside down as like a slap in the face.
Yeah. And then like the Satanists that into like the Anton LaVey Satanism, their cross is actually a mixture of like a cross and a sign from alchemy. It's like a cross with two lines and like the infinity sign at the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. And that's inspired by some fucking alchemy sign.
Interesting.
And that was the part of the movie that I actually was like wanting them to get like more into.
The religious part?
Well, I could tell from the beginning like he's already shitting on all the other religions, or having his commentary about them, whatever you want to call it. Fucking, but like when the dude, and actually, they said, I didn't know it until I watched the movie, but Jedi Mind Tricks samples dialogue from this movie in one of their songs.
No way.
The song Razor Blade Salvation, they fucking sample the part where the fucking alchemist says, fucking, you have power and money, but you are immortal. You know you cannot escape death, but immortality can be obtained. The legend is always the same. If others have succeeded in conquering death, why must we accept it? I know where immortals live and how to obtain their secret. We too must become wise men. The elements of chemistry are many but finite. So are the techniques of enlightenment.
Oh, yeah.
That part is sampled in the Jedi Mind Trick song. The song Razor Blade Salvation is pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that George Lucas didn't fucking steal the fucking Jedi look in this movie?
Yes. Fucking, yeah. But it's, the song is the first song on the album. Prior to that, he's writing a letter to his mother basically telling her that he's going to kill himself and why. And then Razor Blade Salvation's on the next album where he decided not to kill himself. It's another letter to his mom, and he's explaining the reasons why he should be alive and shit. Fucking pretty hardcore stuff. But that was the shit I was interested in. It was like those couple of things. Next thing you know, I'm looking at fucking chicks with peg legs and mummified.
Well, that's what he's doing in this movie. He's doing that. He's showing why this alcoholic guy could redeem himself and enlighten himself. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of concept. It's just through a weird-ass, bugged-out, trippy fucking way. Full of a lot of naked people of all ages.
There's a couple old guys in there, too. Old, young.
Yeah. Old dick.
Yeah. He had tits, too. I don't know if you remember that. The old guy with tits and dick.
The old guy with tits.
He had half a beard.
Shooting the milk out, right? Wasn't there milk shooting out of it?
And it turned like little leopard mouth titties or something.
Leopard mouth. That shit was fucking
they're fucking leopards. Yeah, weird. So, shit like that, it's like, all right, I think he's just, and again, towards the end of the movie, it's just like more outlandishness to be outlandish.
The fucking bar, what was it? The
Pantheon.
what was the name of the bar?
Pantheon.
The Pantheon, right? Yeah.
The Pantheon! Yeah, the Pantheon, baby!
Yeah. And they go and then the guy with the LSD, he's fucking bottles of it poured in the girl's mouth.
Hysterical, right?
The apocalypse is a mescaline trip.
Yeah.
The
Then the dude I could run through walls, and he's like disappeared and popped back up. I was like, bro, what the fuck is this shit?
Right. But like, think about it. What is the Pantheon, right? It's like where all the gods hung out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the significance of naming it the Pantheon, because it was like, you know, it was a place where everyone who was looking for enlightenment kind of lost their way to like different vices, whether it was drugs, alcohol, whatever. I was trying to figure, because like you said, the Pantheon was basically like a temple for all the gods.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's a temple for fallen gods. Maybe they fell from the holy mountain to the Pantheon. I don't know. I couldn't. I was trying to piece it together, but I didn't have enough time.
It's fucking nuts, bro.
I don't know.
Fucking nuts.
I don't know.
You know, like, I would love to like really sit and deconstruct an essay on this. You know what I mean? And like really hash it out. But like you said, that keyword right there, time. That shit takes a lot of time. You know, just to watch it, it took me probably like 3 hours between pausing and note taking.
Yeah. If you really wanted to, you could, spend years breaking down this movie. I mean, just the amount of, just like, some of the, like for example, when he first goes up into the tower and he's in that rainbow room or whatever, there's the two pillars behind the alchemist. There's a white pillar and a black pillar, and then there's like one has like 3 lines on it, the other has like 6. See, that's something like if I wanted to sit there and figure out the significance of the white and the black and the 3 and the 6, like you could spend, all kinds of time doing that. But I was like, there's so much else going on in this movie. Like I'll focus on more important things.
Like, thinking about the Pantheon again, and like, we were talking about the Beatles earlier, like, it looked like the people from Sgt. Pepper were hanging out in the Pantheon. Right? And like, who are the people on the cover, right? They're all like notorious, kind of characters. You know what I mean? People.
Aleister Crowley's on the cover.
Yeah. And if that's the case, these are the gods. They're hanging out there, right? They're, like you said, doing their vices, figuring it out, the Enlightenment, just like we are. As humans, too, trying to figure that out as well.
Yeah.
Shows the gods' humanity,
and I was thinking maybe the fact that at the end they, get to the top of the mountain and it's a whole farce. Maybe he's saying, like, stay at the Pantheon, have your fun. Don't worry about all this other bullshit, do your drugs, listen to the guy with the finger symbols doing his poetry,
Yeah. I wanted to recite that in the beginning. But let's shift it. Let's talk about this end scene. Right? I mean, we could deconstruct each, character in there. Thing. I have it all written out if you really want to. Fawn, Isla, Glenn, Selberg, Axon.
I did want to ask you about Glenn from Jupiter with the art factory, because we've kind of talked along this line in the past. What did you think about the whole art factory? Oh, this is this season's new installation or whatever.
It's just like the shit J-Mac was talking about in the beginning with the banana stapled to the wall, like the butt fucking no, not actual butt fucking, which you would think in this movie. The butt paint. The butt paint stamps,
Yeah.
It was like finger painting, but their asses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that whole scene, like, they're doing like blow in the ears. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like a stereotypical like rich art, guy. He has his wife, he has his lover, he's doing drugs, he has his art factory, right? And then it's just like all weird ass art. But then like all of a sudden the art becomes like living, and it's like, what the hell? And then shit gets really weird, and that's when we get the electrical fucking love machine.
Oh Jesus! Yeah,
with the giant rod or whatever. Yeah, that was.
I mean, I think he's saying something about men and women and the way they pleasure each other.
Well, because the driver just walks in and fucking jams it a couple times. Like, I'm tired. I'm done. You know.
Right, and there's just like a couple little sparks, like, and then the woman does it, and it's like, the fucking thing opens up. There's a fucking baby that comes out. It's like a whole family comes out of it, you know. Like the pleasure, you know, is there. You know, it goes wild, and like the cream fucking shoots out, and shit. It's all fucking crazy.
Basically, he's saying if you pay attention, you know, to the G spot, like you'll have a happy wife, happy life kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, no, I think he's, again, you know, he talks a lot about gender roles in this, and he's trying to say something about that and sexuality, especially, you know, if he's paralleling this to Clem, right, who is the, like, again, he has a chauffeur, you know what I mean? He's that guy, right? And he's the representation of man in this scene. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So he's saying something about man and sexuality and being able to please. That no, he's just trying to please himself, right? Hence why he lives with all these vices and all this gluttony, compared to the woman who takes her time and there's sincere emotion, and that's what, again, helps the climax.
Yeah.
For the female party.
For sure.
AKA the electric fucking machine.
Yeah. I also just wanted to give a quick mention to Saturn. Cell, the toy factory.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting how they were like kind of grooming the kids from a young age to like, and honestly, you know, from when I grew up, like when 9/11 happened, I was like 9, right? So there was a lot of Islamophobia, and still to this day in America, where it, like just this kind of I don't know the right word, how to put it exactly, but you know, they kind of conditioned us to be like, those are the bad guys over there. We need to go get them. And people were already signing up, joining up. So like you could, I mean, again, this was 50 years ago, and it's still kind of relevant to the, you know.
It was like that. Think about it, right? Like earlier in the early, you know, 1950s and shit, and it's like, how is the Army portrayed? Join the Army, fight for your country. Da, 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 da. It's like glorified, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the movies back then, it was like, yeah, Frank Sinatra was a soldier, and it was like leading up to Pearl Harbor. They were having a time of their life out there. Yeah, baby. Like fucking soldier life is great. And the reality is like, is it really that great? You know? Could come with a lot of traumas. But again, conditioning you to think this one thing, and then when you're in the trenches, it's too late, you know, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're there. Yeah. You're not going back.
For sure.
And the fact that, like, he compared the monsters, right, as little vampires, like, vampires sucks the life out of you, you know what I mean? Fucking, you know, it's like comparing that as sucking the life out of these children. So when they become the hosts, they're fucking lifeless fucking vampires that are just sucking the life out of humanity via war.
Yeah. And even the comic book they came out with, like it kind of reminded me of like Superman, and like I'm not big into like comics and Superman and stuff, but like I guarantee you they had some some issues where he was fighting the commies, you know.
Yeah.
Getting you conditioned.
But again, it's just like a facade. It's just like a facade, you know. Yeah, okay, superhero, sure, okay, right.
Well, Captain America,
you know, everybody's
fight Nazis and all that kind of shit.
Stop the Red Menace, you know. I think they even said like stop the Peruvian monster or something like that. And then one other, we don't have to go through all the characters, but the other one I want to talk about was Axon Neptune, the chief of police. I thought that was kind of a nice analogy for the military, where he, you know, basically goes around castrating these kids. And that was, I said there was a couple scenes that made me laugh out loud when he walks in and he's just like, oh, my sanctuary of 1,000 testicles. These walls of like testicles up there. Like what a bizarre thing. But like if you look, all the people that he's recruiting are young boys, right? They're like teenage kids, right? So he gets them and then he, you know, castrates them, and he gives them his like the religious book, like, you know, make it so they idolize him. This is the holy book. Learn to believe in me. So I just, we were kind of talking about how the military, you know, gets you from a young age, and they're just like, oh, we need to fight the Red Menace, this and that, whatever, and it's like a brainwashing. You know, they almost like castrate them in a sense, and then they brainwash them into believing a certain thing, and and so they could accomplish this objective or whatever. But I thought that was another interesting one. I mean, they were all interested in their own aspect, but those are the ones that kind of stood out for me.
Yeah, it was friggin' nuts. Friggin' nuts. Yeah, I don't know. I could keep going here out of my notes and shit, but I don't know if you want me to. But let's talk about that end scene.
Yeah. Toward the very end?
Yeah, the very end, where at the end, they're about to find out the answer, and the answer to immortality is break the fourth wall down.
Yeah, I was saying to you before the show, J-Mac walked away for a minute. J-Mac, you ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
You know, at the end when like they're fighting, and all of a sudden like everything, the fourth wall breaks down, like the camera crew's running around and shit. Like that's what it kind of reminded me of in that. But the ending, I was not a fan of the ending.
No, I was not, especially after sitting through all that shit. It was just so anticlimactic. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I watched the fucking most ridiculous shit I've probably ever had to watch, and this is how they're gonna fucking wrap it up.
Exactly. That's why I love it. You know, that's why I love it. I mean, think about it. That's like, you know, that's life, bro. You're fucking, you know, you plan and God laughs, right? Like, you're going on this journey and you think it's going to go the right way, and whoop, he just fucking pulls the carpet out from under you. Like,
just felt like the fucking end of G.I. Joe, like, knowing is the half the battle, and then fucking runs off and shit. Like, it's just, what the fuck, man?
I don't know, but like, what is he trying to tell us via that ending?
So this kind of just came to me. So I was sitting there thinking, okay, I want to find out the secret to immortality, right? I thought he was going to reveal it to them. And then he kind of breaks that fourth wall and is like, come on, this is a movie. What are you doing? So I think what he was trying to do is like, more or less tell you, like, go live your life. Like, don't worry about all this other shit. Like, you can't become immortal, like, whatever. Just, and like how he sends off the thief. You know, he's like, listen, you go find your immortality through love with this prostituted monkey. You know, it's like, so,
just think of like the fucking sentence you just had to say.
I know. But I think he's saying, like, you know, I guess kind of like do the things in life that make you happy versus like trying to reach this unattainable kind of thing. This goal.
Right. Which came out first? See, Monty Python came out after this, because I'm wondering, like, had anything like that ever happened before in film, like where
breaking of the fourth wall,
in that kind of way, you know, like
he
really like it. That's almost like one of the, you know, like it's a hell of a plot twist right there. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
In a way, if you think about it, you know. But I think, you know, think about like the end of Sopranos. Think about the end of things. Like, how can you make an ending that is different, you know? And think about it. Like, how can you actually give an answer to what immortality means? Except, yo, this is just a movie, bro. I don't know. I'm just having fun here, you know. Like,
I think he wrote himself into a corner, and he was just like, shit, I don't know the answer. Like, this is what I'm going to go with then. You know, I can't give him an answer because it's going to sound stupid, so I'll just go with this.
But that's the thing. You could take it back to, like, any point in the movie and try to pinpoint it. Like, okay, is the answer to, you know, go on this journey of oneself and figure out how to enlighten yourself to be better and lose all these kind of, you know, vice aspects of life? Or is it the other side of it, like, don't take things too seriously? Like, it's just a movie. Look at the camera crew around me. Like, what exact, you know, you can look at it in several different, you know, lenses or angles, I guess.
And I mean, even the fact that they didn't actually achieve immortality, he made them better people at the end of the day. Right? Or at least in that moment, who knows if they go back to their old habits after that. But, you know, he kind of got them to strip away all that excess and all that, all the money, the vices, all that stuff, and like kind of brought it back to the self.
Yeah. And even like stripping yourself of religion, stripping yourself of like societal constructs, you know what I mean? And just total shedding of everything, your physical, your mental, right, your morality. Like it's a total clean slate. You know, and I guess that ties back to the opening scene of him with the two women, and you know, you got to have two there to show our duality, you know, of the humanity and the yin and the yang, and you have to take both of those and give it to get that clean slate.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Now I wonder if there was, you talk about the yin and the yang, the fact that they were wearing white to start and he was wearing all black, and then there's the black and the
whole
white
room
on the wall.
is black and white. Yeah.
Bringing a full circle.
Shit, look at this
that
podcast. We did work on
I
here.
think we just cracked the code.
You know, I mean, it's really friggin' fascinating, and that's what I love about this shit. You know, in one retrospect, it could be this like midnight crazy movie that you watched when you were fucking tripping your balls off, stoned down at midnight, or it could be this fucking deep existential philosophical tale about humanity and our existence.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a parody of life. If you think about it, when you put that ending in and it comes full circle, did he just fucking make a parody about every fucking aspect of life?
Just an absurdist parody or something.
You know?
Yeah.
Literally about relationships, love, society, war, fucking food, you know, merchants, like every kind of weird shit you could think about, you know, drag, fucking prostitution, fucking
the military,
gluttony,
police states,
the military, homosexuality. Like there's so many different things that he's commented on, you know, and what he's trying to, I think, say, if you think about it in the end, is, you know, if you shed, you know, yourself of that, you will find enlightenment in whoever you are, whatever human being you are. You know, you are that chimpanzee that him and her are holding at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're all just chimps at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're all just animals.
Yeah.
You know, we're all these beings.
Yeah. No, I just wish he would have focused on a couple of those issues a little bit more. I felt like he almost spread himself a little too thin.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like how much, you know, if putting a symbol there, you know, versus like plot devices, like how much of this is just him, you know, throwing shit at the wall, how much of this him saying something not enough, and how much of it does he say enough, you know what I mean? And I think when it comes to surrealist art, it's not easy to capture that, because surrealism is in the eye of the beholder, you know what I mean? Especially, you know, compared to like, you know, regular film, regular stories. You know, when you read it, it's like the man went down the block, he went into the store, he bought a ham sandwich. Like, you could process that. Like, if you read poetry and it's like not a linear sentence, you're like, automatically, what the hell? That doesn't make sense. Same kind of concept with film. If you're watching a movie and there's no plot and there's no character following a fucking direction that's obvious, because in the film that is happening, but it's not obvious because you get caught up with all the crazy shit happening. It's easy to disregard it, you know what I mean? It's easy to call it shit or stupid and not make sense and all that kind of stuff, but I think it just, again, it takes more sitting with, I don't want to say, like, that's why they call it pretentious douchebaggery, because not that you need to be smarter to do it, but you just need to enjoy breaking down. You need to enjoy analysis.
And definitely requires more patience, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, I mean, I'm someone who does like, you know, when a director's making a movie, everything, especially a guy like this, or especially Kubrick, like everything is meticulous. It's exactly where he wants it, exactly, you know, filmed a certain way. And I like to sit there and be like, okay, why did he choose that? Why did he make the actor say that? You know, I like to kind of try and think about the motive behind it. And not everyone likes to do that. We've talked about that on here before. With, you know, some movies are a little bit easier on the brain, but I can understand if you're not into that, how this would feel like pretentious douchebaggery.
Like, I even sent the trailer over in a text message in a group chat to a couple of my buddies, and they were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. This is not a movie I would recommend to most people.
Yeah, no. This is not something you recommend to watch with your, hey, little Johnny boy, go check it out with your wife on a Friday night. And they pop it in and they're like, never talk to you again.
Yeah.
I mean, I was risking, shutting down the program after this. J Mac wanted to pull the plug maybe, but I think we're all right.
I think we made it through.
We climbed the holy mountain.
Reconsidering my friendship with Joey.
Everything's going real smooth. I had to kind of throw a wrench into things a little.
Yeah, we've liked everything. We've all liked everything we've done so far. So we need a little something.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because you know how we talk about Dune, how you love Dune tones, and J-Mac's like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I love shit like this, and we all have, as much as we love things of the same, and that's just the beauty about our show, like the base of like things like Black Mirror, conspiracies, aliens, true crime. We have our base stuff, but then we all have our little niche things that we like too.
Right.
And when we come together, we bomb atomically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's I don't know what else to say about this.
Yeah, I could open my notes and say more, but you know what? Next year's the 50th anniversary, and maybe we'll revisit the mountain again. You never know.
We'll reclimb the mountain.
I haven't had a chance to watch it with the commentary on, so maybe next year I'll watch it with the commentary on, and we'll climb that mountain again. And we'll pair it up with El Topo. It'll be a grand old time.
There you go.
We'll really do J-Mac in.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
And that's when he quits the show.
So yeah, I think we're unless I know you got a bunch more notes. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on before we?
No, let me just not do it.
Okay.
Let me just not do it. I don't want to open any more cans of worms. I think we did the mountain justice for now.
Yeah. If anything we just talked about sounds interesting to you, check out the movie. If you shut us off after a couple of minutes, then the movie probably wouldn't be for you. Yeah, I don't know. Should we rate it?
I don't know. Did we stop rating things? I don't even know.
I think. Well, I've been writing. We didn't rate
it's
the
a masterpiece for me. 5 out of 5. Fuck
5
yeah.
out of 5. Okay.
Ain't nothing like this shit, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. There was definitely parts I liked, but like I said, there was some things that maybe dragged on a little bit too much. Maybe he tried to wax poetic a little bit too much on certain issues, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe if I watch it again in like a couple of years, I'll appreciate it more. But as of now, I'm going to go with a 3.5. I enjoyed it, but yeah.
Respectable.
I'm going with a 2.
Okay.
For visually it looking cool, and I understand there's a shit ton of stuff to dissect in it, and I get that. Some of it you could see from the surface thing, the commentary on religion and stuff. Excuse me, but it's just, it was hard. It was hard to watch, man.
It's a hard one.
When you got shit to do and you're trying to squeeze it in, and it's just like, it's hard to not feel like you're wasting your time to an extent.
You got to be locked in. You got to be dedicated.
Yeah. I understand that one. That's for sure.
So it's just it was a tough thing to sit through. But and like I said, the most interesting parts to me, they kind of like just glazed over. The next thing you know, there's peg legs and all kinds of weird shit going on. So I'll stick with a 2. And if you needed any more reason to hate Yoko Ono, her and fucking John Lennon helped produce this fucking thing. So.
There you go. Something good came out of it. More hate for Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next episode, we're going to be doing Parasite, Bong Joon-ho's Oscar-winning Best Picture movie from 2019,
Can't
I think.
wait. Have no idea what it's about except people.
Yeah, it's great. I went in. like based off the trailers and what I heard, I went in with like one mindset, and it was something completely different, and like but like in a good way. Really surprised me, but he's got some good stuff too. You guys ever see Snowpiercer?
Yeah.
No, I heard good things about it.
Yeah,
I just never watched
that was
it.
him. He was the same director.
I never saw the show.
No, the show. I don't know if the show's any good, but I was a big fan of the movie. But he was the director.
That's the train, right?
Yeah, the train where it's like separated
cool.
by class and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, very underrated. Very long, actually. I think it's like 2.5 hours.
Oh, is it? Okay. I
don't
haven't seen it in a while.
Maybe
but
anywho, it's
yeah. But so we'll be doing that next episode. Again, check out the link trees, Spotify playlist, socials. Maybe we'll have a Facebook one day. Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
what are we doing again?
Parasite.
Oh yeah, Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Only took a couple of years to get to watching it.
Yeah.
But looking forward to it. All right, sweet.
Great. All right. That's all.
Should be good.
That's all, folks. Peace.
Until next time. Later.